Okay, we're ready to get started on making a little sock, and you probably first need to get your materials together. So choose a pattern. We found ours in a book that had both mittens and socks, and we decided to kind of blend these two together and adapt them for a child who's in the toddler stage of life. You first need to find what the pattern itself is requiring. You'll have something that tells you the length of the foot and the type of yarn that's to be used and what kinds of needles you'll want to have on hand. So you round those all up and go running off to the store and find the kind of yarn that you need to have. I found that my pattern required 50-gram ball of a lightweight yarn, and I found that this one means the thickness of the yarn. We're supposed to have super fine yarn, so you might notice that there's quite a vast difference between the yarn that's regular wool worsted and what we're using. They're both 4-ply, meaning that there are 4 little strands in each piece of yarn, but they're quite different as they work up. So you'll want to be careful to notice what the pattern requires and get exactly what it's asking you to use. The pattern, the label will also give you other very important things. It tells you the gauge that you're to be able to get with the needles that you use, and inside this box it will tell you, if you're knitting, the size of needle to use. In this case it's to be a 3. If you're crocheting, then the hook is telling you that it's a United States 3. For washing, these little images tell you it's a washable wool. It cannot be bleached. It can be dried. It cannot be ironed. It cannot be dry cleaned. And it's important to notice what the color is and choose the same thing if you have to have more than one ball. This is a number that tells you the color lot, and it will be needing to be the same. Alright, the label information here is also on the inside of the band that surrounds the yarn, in case you forget. I also wanted to address the fact that this is a washable wool and it has some nylon in it, but that does not mean that you should throw it in a washer, because the results could be disastrous. I recommend that you hand wash this lovingly with baby shampoo or Woolite, and you don't wring, you don't twist, and do not put it in a dryer. Use cold water when you wash the item. And be sure you just block it out on a nice little towel and let it air dry. I also wanted to let you know that when you're knitting, you can pull the yarn from the inside. There's usually a little bundle to start with, and it just comes out from the inside, and you keep pulling it. This keeps it from unraveling, unwieldy. It's a lot easier to keep it contained. But if you really don't like doing that, take the label off and you just pull from the outside, and it's possible actually to knit 2 socks at the same time and keep the measurements very closely related. If you do that, you'll be much happier with the results. And be sure that you measure absolutely every section that you do. We measure the cuff on each one, we measure the heel on each one, etc. Good luck. Hope you have a lot of fun.